Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Fully Painted Miniatures, this is Drogs. Going up against the Blight Lord from the Nameless expansion on Expert difficulty. This is going to be my second attempt. Second attempt, yeah. It's a new weekend, so I record all these over the weekend. I work too much during the week. So he's pretty cool. Basically what he does is he gives you these Tainted Jade cards, which you can use like a regular Jade to gain 2 Aether, but then you suffer damage, or you have to spend 2 to destroy it. And if you destroy it using any other method, like through card destruction, you take a damage. But the big deal with him is if there's only 1 Tainted Jade left in that pile, this track moves down 1 on each activation. And if there's 0, it moves down 2. And we start in the first spot. On the third, Gravehold suffers 7 damage. On the fifth, the player with the lowest life suffers 4 damage. On the 7th, the Blight Lord gains 10 life. And on the 9th, the players lose the game, which is how I lost the game last time. I wasn't able to get rid of the Jades quickly enough. So it's not hard early in the game to maintain that, but late in the game, because when you gain them to your discard pile. So he gets enough abilities to unleash them and throw them into your discard pile, and then you can't get to them to discard them. So you really need to kind of cycle through your decks really quick and just kind of prevent that. I also got reasonably far into tier 3 cards, so I just waited way too long and never... I don't know. I don't think I ever got my offense really going, really. I was pretty close, though. I was pretty close to winning. Anyway, we're going to be going with Malister, since he comes from the expansion. This is from the Nameless expansion. So I'm going to keep using him in every game. He does not have a first breach. His second breach costs 5 to open, third 7, and... Oh no, I did that wrong. Third 3, and it's fourth 10. His special ability costs 12, or 6 charges. Sorry, I haven't had all my coffee yet. Gift of Aether. It allows you to gain any spell from any supply pile and then immediately prep it to either player's open breach. So that's really cool. And then his special card is basically a spark that is you leave it prepped. Whenever you take damage, you gain a free charge. And then I've also taken Lash. So I swapped out Adelheim for this. I did find out I did use his special ability incorrectly. The Ethereal Ward. It's worded strangely because it says when a Nemesis attack or power card is drawn, but before it is resolved, you may discard it. I looked it up online, and apparently this only applies to the Nemesis deck. So even if you're fighting like the Rageborn, you can't use this on a strike deck, which to me makes Adelheim very underpowered compared to other mages. That's not a very good ability. If it can't affect the Tainted Tract or a Carapace Queen swarming or a strike deck or anything else like that, that's just not a very good ability. It's just not. It can't affect minions. It's just not very good compared to the other mages. It should cost 4 charges, not 5, for that ability, personally. So I pushed him aside in favor of Lash. Lash has his first breach open, second at 3, third at 9, and fourth at 7. His ability is Quicken Thought, which allows you to shuffle any player's turn order card back into the turn order deck, giving you an extra activation, and then suffering 1 damage. I love him, and Kadir is probably my favorite combination, since she can heal him. That negates kind of the downside of his special ability, and then he can give her extra turns, and then she can use her extra turns to get her special ability up, and yeah, they're awesome. His ability is Court Shard, which gains 1 Aether, and then you reveal the top card of the turn order deck. And you may place that card. It doesn't have to be a Nemesis card. Interesting. So typically, if I get a Nemesis card, I put it on the bottom. But you can also put a player card on the bottom too, if you want to save that for later. But if you reveal player card, you gain an additional Aether. So sometimes this is worth 2, sometimes it's worth 1. So that's pretty cool. I also changed up the store a little. Excuse me, sorry. I changed up the store a little bit for this game. Gems are the same, so I'm keeping Jade, 2 cost, 2 Aether. Leeching Agate, 3 cost, 2 Aether, and when you purchase this, you gain a charge. And Burning Opal, 5 cost, gain 3 Aether. You may discard a card in your hand. If you do, an ally draws a card. Keeping Focusing Orb, focus any player's breach, destroy to gain 3 life. I swapped out Molten Hammer for Temporal Helix because I was actually going to put Mage's Talisman in there, but I decided I didn't want to. I always use Focusing Orb, Mage's Talisman, and I thought, you know what? Let's get some extra casts. Some extra Arcane Essence Thefts or Radiance casts. That could be really useful. I also swapped out Scrying Bolt for Ignite because I wanted a lower cost attack option. That was part of the problem last game. I had great cards, but my lowest cost spell was Essence Theft at 5, and so I had a 5, a 6, a 7, and an 8, and I just didn't get enough spell cards. They were all high damage, but I didn't have the volume to really make it worthwhile and get that damage mid-game. And this is not going to be, it's not high damage, it does 2 damage, but it gives you free charges. So then I kept Essence Theft, Arcane Nexus. Oh, sorry, I should tell you what they do. Because I'm weird like that. So Temporal Helix costs 7 and allows you to cast any prep spell without discarding it. So it's a free cast. Ignite is your first spell, costs 4, deals 2 damage. An ally then gains a charge. So it gives the other guys, the other mage. Essence Theft, 5 cost, deal 3 damage. Discard a card to give either player 1 life. Arcane Nexus, 7 cost. While prep once per turn, you may double cast a gem. You may cast it and then return it to your hand. Cast deals 4 damage, so 2, 3, 4. Actually, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Radiance, cast deal 5 damage. Each ally, including yourself, draws a card. So, pretty cool. The only thing I don't love about this store setup is I don't have a great option at 6. So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, good options. At 6, I would either get 2 Leeching Agates, or I would grab a Focusing Orb or an Ignite with a Jade, or 3 Jades would kind of be my options there. Which isn't horrible, but I typically buy up all the Jades pretty quick. So even then, you're still getting a Focusing Orb or an Ignite with a charge. So it's all right. But let's get started. All right, we're going to start with Malister. He's got 4 plus the Immolate. So for 4, he's going to buy 2 Jades. No, don't do it. It's fine. I'll open the 3rd breach and prep Immolate for 4. Nemesis. Shard Spitter. 5 life, persistent. I don't like getting this guy first. Greyfold suffers 2 damage. Any player gains a Tainted Jade and places it on top of their deck each activation. So he's basically a worse version of the Corruptor from Crooked Mask. We get Malister again. So he will cast Immolate, because luckily it's in his third breach. So that means it does 2 damage to the Shard Spitter. Drops him to 3. And then he has 5 with which to buy Burning Opal. And then we get Lash. He's going to prep Spark. Court Shard is worth 2. So that's 2, 5, and he's going to buy Burning Opal. He gets to go again. He's going to cast Spark for 1 on the Shard Spitter. And he's going to pay 3 to open his second breach. And he'll prep both Sparks. 2, 3, 4, 5. Not too shabby. And Nemesis is going to go. So Shard Spitter activates, does 2 damage to Gravehold, brings us to 28. And we draw. Oh, and we'll give that to Malister. We'll take the Jade. And we draw Haze Spewer. 5 life, does damage equal to its current life to Gravehold. Then suffers 1 damage. So if he activates next, it's going to do 7 damage to Gravehold. If he double activates, it's going to do 13. So that is not great luck. But, man. But I like how I like how my mage's turns went. Those are good. Just that is not great luck on the Nemesis deck. Okay, good. So we're gonna start with Lash. We will cast both Sparks, killing the Shard Spitter. Ooh. Yeah, it's the same. We're gonna kill the Shard Spitter. And he's Court Shard again. Nemesis. So we will put that on the bottom of the deck. So that's worth 1. But the Burning Opal is worth 3. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Arcane Nexus. And he gets to go again. He gets to prep 2 Sparks, and for 3, he's going to buy a Leeching Agate, which gives him a charge. Sweet. So this is going to let me double cast Burning Opal on his next activation, which won't be to the next round. But still, pretty cool. All right, and we do get Malister. We're going to prep Immolate. He gets 4. And he's going to buy it Ignite. No, he's not. He's going to buy 2 Jades. Nemesis does activate, unfortunately. That means the Haze Spear is going to do 5 damage, dropping us to 23. So if I had done 2 damage to the Haze Spewer, I still would have taken 2 from the Shard Spitter and then had to gain another Tainted Jade. So this still works out in my favor, mathematically. Haze Spear drops to 4 life. Oh my god. And we get the Banesire. This, wow. If I pull this, I know it's early, but if I win this game, I'm going to be really impressed with myself, because that is such a bad, that is such a bad combination. There's still another This bottom one's another Nemesis card, so the Haze Spear is going to activate, and so is the Banesire, and we're only in the second round. That's really bad. I don't think I've ever won a game where Banesire comes out early, or where I get a double activating Haze Spear. This is the first time I've ever gotten both. Plus, with the Shard Spitter on the first turn, that's just bad luck all the way around. All right. Malister. I would love to leave Immolate, but I can't. I'm going to have to cast that. And that's going to do 2 damage to the Haze Spear. And that's worth 3. 6. I could discard the Tainted Jade. 6 is not super great, though. Instead, I will pay the 8, take 1 damage. So that brings him to 9. And that gives me 5, 6, 7, 8. And that allows me to buy Radiance. So that is kind of nice. Ooh, 2 Jades. Not 7 right there for Nexus. Or Temporal Helix. Hell yeah. Okay, Nemesis gets to go. Haze Spear is going to do 2 damage. Gravehold brings us to 21. Takes the damage though. Banesire unleashes. That's going to drop Tainted Jade. We're going to give that one a lash this time because he's not quite set up yet. And we draw a card. Whew. Players collectively gain 2 Tainted Jades and place them in their hands. Okay. So that means there's no Tainted Jades now available. There were 3. So if he activates before I can get rid of those, he'll move 2 spots on the track. Which will also be very bad. So in general, I'm very happy with where my mage's decks are. Malister has a Radiance. Lash has an Arcane Nexus. They both have a Burning Opal. And that's about it. Malister has 2 Jades. I think Lash has a Leeching Agate. Be nice to get some Ignites and Focusing Orbs coming up. Essence stuffs. But just managing the Blight Lord is... Gravehold's taken some heavy damage, and that is... The Nemesis deck is just kicking the crap out of me. Throne Order's been okay. Okay, so we do get Malister. I have to pay 2 to destroy Tainted Jade. And that leaves me with 5. And I will gain a second Burning Opal. Split that up a little bit. And then we get Lash. He's going to cast first Spark to kill the Haze Spear. Second to do 1 damage to the Banesire. He will then prep Arcane Nexus and a Spark. He will use the Arcane Nexus to double cast Burning Opal, so that's worth 6. Court Shard is worth 2, so that's 8. 9. I can also discard cards for to let Malister draw more, but I don't really see a point in that. So for 9, I'm going to destroy the Tainted Jade, which leaves me with 7. And let's see, do I want another Arcane Nexus? Temporal Helix. Where's the other Tainted Jade? Okay, he does get to go again. Arcane Nexus does 4, Spark does 1. So we will cast both of those, and that will kill the Banesire. Okay, so we got out from under on that. We will then pay 2 crystals. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. I should adjust the camera a little bit. Can't really see my hand fully. Pay 2 crystals to destroy Tainted Jade. So that's back there. And then I have 3 remaining, and I will buy another Leeching Agate, which gives me another charge. Nemesis gets to go, but luckily I cleared the board. Three of the 4 Tainted Jades are back there. Unleash. So Tainted Jade goes. We'll give that to Malister. Any player suffers 3 damage and then draws a card. We'll do that on Lash. Because I don't love his hand. Burning Opal. Okay, Malister is... He's going to prep Radiance. And he's going to pay 3 for a Leeching. I'm just going to pay. Oh, I did to buy the Radiance, maybe? I don't remember. Oh, I just unleashed, that's why. Leeching Agate for 3. Charge. And he's going to hold on to Ventilate for now. So draw 4, 2, 3, 4. There's the other Tainted Jade, okay. And Nemesis. Board is clear. Creeping Viridian. Power 3. So that gives me some time to work on that. To discard, spend 7 Aether. Power 3, any player gains a Tainted Jade and then places it in their hand and then advance the Tainted Track 1. It's not even that bad, except for the advancing Tainted Track 1s. You'd like to avoid that, but all it does is it's basically an unleash. I should be able to get 7 to discard that, especially with 3 Nemesis activations to go. Alright, so not too bad, not too bad. Feeling alright, feeling alright. Okay. Okay, we do get Lash, cool. He's going to prep 2 Sparks. He's going to cast Temporal Helix. The really cool thing about this card, cast any player's prepared spell without discarding it, which means I'm going to cast Radiance, which is going to do 6 damage to Blight Lord, dropping him to 64. And both players then get to draw a card. So, very powerful. I then generate 6 Aether or 5 and give Malister another card draw. So this is where it gets a little interesting. Do I want to grab an Essence Theft? Or do I grab... I'm going to grab a Focusing Orb. and a Jade. I don't have any focusing orbs, and his economy isn't quite where I want it to be yet. So I don't love their economies so far. Okay. Malister, his turn. He will cast Radiance for 6, which will drop Blight Lord to 58. Okay. And they each get to draw a card. He will prep him late. He will spend 2 to destroy Tan Jade, and then he still has 5. And with that 5, he will buy another Burning Opal. Okay, Nemesis, we're going to take a token off Creeping Viridian, and we pull out the Venomite. 9 life. Does 2 damage to the player with the lowest life. Or you may discard a prepped spell card that costs 3 or more. And we get Lash. So he's going to cast both Sparks. 2 damage to the Venomite. He will prep Arcane Nexus and Spark. Court Shard reveals the top card. Okay. And that means it's worth 2. So 2, 4, 5, 6. Aether. With Arcane Nexus double casting Leeching Agate, which actually bumps him up to 8. Right? So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. So I can grab a Radiance. Or I could grab 2 Focusing Orbs. I'm going to grab the Radiance. As much, I could also grab 2 Ignites, but... Okay. I'm going to hold on to the Immolate, I think. And this is worth 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. I can also discard 1 for a chart, or for Lash to draw. He's going to open his second breach for 5 and buy an Ignite. Nemesis activates. Taking 1 power token off Creeping Viridian. I kind of let that get a little too close, but that's alright. Venomite. I'm not going to discard Arcane Nexus, so it means Lash is going to take 2 damage. Drops him to 5. And then we draw Dispel. Unleash twice. The player with the most prep spells discards their most expensive prep spell. Damn it. So I could have prevented that damage. And that's a double Unleash. I don't think I'm winning this game, you guys, but it's always fun to try. I don't think it's anything wrong with this setup. Malister, Lash in the store. I think that's fine. I don't necessarily think I played it right. I didn't get the economy quite right early. So I do like my damage spells, but I'm not quite there for charge generation. or opening my breaches. And I need to get those essence stuffs, start healing, because that's just what I need to do. Oof. So Creeping Viridian does activate. Any player gets a Tainted Jade, places it in their hand. We're just going to give that to Malister. And the Tainted Track advances 1. And then Venomite attacks. I don't have anything to prevent that, so that does 2 more damage. 2 lash, brings me down to 3. And we draw. Vertigra. Forgot about him. 9 life. Any player suffers 3 damage. If this minion has 8 life or less, so if he's taking any damage, then the Tainted Track advances 1. So you kind of want to one-shot him. 1, Malister. Okay. So that's worth 3, 5, 2 Tainted Jades. I will take the 9 and grab an Ignite and an Essence Theft. Ugh. No, I can't. Damn it. Alright. No Ignite. I take... So now it's not worth 9. Because I was going to take the 2 damage and then get 2 charges from it too. So instead of generating 9, I only generate 3. Ugh. Okay. Destroy 2 Tainted Jades. No, I only generate 1. Really? So instead of generating 9 and taking 2 damage, gaining 2 charges, I only gain 1? I don't want to do that. But I don't have a way to destroy Tainted Jades. I have to... okay. I have to bring Molten Hammer in. You may destroy a card in hand or on the top of any player's discard pile. So this is how you beat this guy. By utilizing these, I can destroy Tainted Jades as they're given to me. So that's a required card. I screwed that up. So it should be Focusing Orb and Molten Hammer. So I will just waste my turn destroying those 2 Jades because I don't really have a choice. That kind of screws me, but yeah, nothing I can really do about it with this setup. Alright, he does get to go again. It's really not worth casting his Immolate. I will prep Radiance. And that's worth 8. By Radiance. Alright, Lash is going to cast Spark for 1 to the Venomite. He will then cast Temporal Helix to cast Radiance for 5 on the Venomite, which allows them each to draw a card. He will then use Focusing Orb on his 4th breach. And he generates, 5, 6, 8. He's going to buy 2 Focusing Orbs. Nemesis gets to go. That does 2 damage to Lash. And Vertigo does 3 damage to Malister. And then that advances and does 7 damage to Greyfold. Brings us to 14. I'm totally getting stomped. We get the call. I got every minion. Cauterizer. It does 3 damage equal to its current life to a player. Only takes 1 damage from all attacks. Lash. There we go. Prep 2 sparks. 3. He's going to buy a Leeching Agate. Gives him a charge. Charge duration. Suck this game. I don't even know if I have to have Focusing Orbs, but I don't know. Not feeling so hot, guys. Definitely not liking my odds. I'm glad I figured out the Molten Hammer thing, though. So that is definitely part of the puzzle. I think I actually will go back to Molten Hammer and Temporal Helix and remove the Focusing Orbs for next game. But in that case, I'll probably swap out Ignite for Amplify Vision. So I have something to help me open breaches, because the Tainted Jades remove a lot of your economy. And you can't buy Flexing Daggers. All right. So we do get Malister. Okay. He's going to cast Immolate to kill the Venomite. It's a waste of 1 damage, but that's okay. Alright, we're going to gamble. Radiance is going to do 5 to the Vertegra. Use them with 4. And that allows them each to draw. And then we're going to prep Ignite. And we get, what is this? 3, 6, 8, 10. Okay. I'm going to use all 10 for charges, which is enough to power up Gift of Aether, and I will then cast it to buy a Radiance. Immediately prep to a second breach. I'm going to get those essence stuffs, though. The last one has 1 life. Alright, that's not good. Nemesis is going to activate. That does 3 damage to Mouser. He's down to 3 life. And that advances the Tainted Track. And then Cauterizer is going to exhaust Lash, which means he loses all of his charges. Spark gets discarded. First breach gets destroyed. And Pulverizing Ray, power 1. Does 18 damage to Gravehold. You may sacrifice gems to prevent 3 damage for each gem discarded. Nemesis activates again. So that's game over. Yep. Vertigo activates and attacks Malister, and that's game over. So, didn't get very far. I didn't... Really bad luck with how the Nemesis deck got shuffled. Tons of minions. So what worked out well? Burning Opals worked out well. Focusing Orbs were useless in this game. I don't think it's... I think it advances a little bit too quickly for those to really be worthwhile. They really helped on Crooked Mask. But I'm really more worried about the Tainted Track. So card destruction and healing are the way to go, I think, with this. Yeah. Temporal Helix was useful. It was definitely useful. So was the Arcane Nexus. So was Radiance. So these 3, I think, were really useful. My biggest problem was getting these. So I basically wasted 12 Aether buying these, and they didn't do anything for me. They didn't open a single breach. And not getting the essence stuffs. And I didn't get enough gems. I'm glad I got, what was it, 4 burning opals, so that really helped, but I didn't get enough jades or leeching agates. And the ignites, I was just about to cast my first one, so those didn't do anything either for me. So I'm going to swap this out for Amplify Vision. I'm going to swap Focusing Orb out for Molten Hammer, and I think I'm going to leave everything else the same. Yeah. You could go like... No, I'm going to go the same. Yeah, that works. The nice thing about that is Amplify Vision, if you do get all your breaches open, which is pretty easy from Alistair, it goes to 3 damage. So it's then a 3 damage, 4 damage, and a 3rd or 4th breach. So, and that's your lowest damage spell. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep the same mages. I'm going to get reset up and shoot the next video. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great one.